Naveen,
Sir.
you got very high scores in GS 1, 2, 3.
Right, sir.
Okay, please share your secret with us.
Sir,
And be completely frank and open.
sir, sources are very same, but what I did was answer writing practice. In answer writing practice, breaking of question. Breaking of question.
Okay.
Question. Value addition. By this I mean graphs, diagrams, flow charts. Specificity. Keywords. Government documents. Committees. Topic specific structure. Government documents like Neeti, Neeti 3-year action agenda.
Just 1 second. Breaking up, that's fine. Next, value addition in terms of examples,
like
diagrams.
Graphs, flow chart.
Flow charts.
Diagrams,
Okay.
graphs.
Okay.
Specificity in your answer.
Specificity in your answer. Okay.
You do not write generic answers.
Okay.
You write something specific.
Okay.
Something very particular.
Okay. Like what's...
For suppose there is an air pollution question. Air pollution question.
Air pollution question. Okay.
It is an example.
Okay.
Like bringing technology to coal plants.
Okay.
New technology so that they emit less carbon.
Okay.
Is a generic point. If you add an NEETI Aayog point, which they say that desulfurization should be installed in all coal plants which are 10 years old. This is a specific point.
Neeti Aayog.
Neeti Aayog mein this is given.
Okay.
For stubble burning, Neeti Aayog gives a solution called Happy Cedar. Engagement with universities, agriculture and pesticides. So these are very specific. So this is what I meant by specificity.
You are saying specificity and you are also saying government sources?
Government sources is very, very important. Economic survey.
Okay.
Not only the last years, but from 15 I read 15, 16, 17,
okay.
18. Of course summaries. This one is, I read it full.
Okay.
And
so
second,
specificity and government sources.
Second
okay.
ARC.
Second ARC.
Summary.
Summary. Okay.
Fourth fourth chapter or ethics. This read completely. And budget. Previous year.
Budget previous year.
Previous year. President's speech.
President's speech.
President's speech before budget.
Okay.
You get a question directly from this.
Okay.
You get a lot of data from this, which you can write in exam.
Okay.
Sometimes whatever the president's speech says, you might get a question from that. So other documents like, for suppose, for water, Meher Shah committee.
Water what?
Meher Shah committee is, there is a committee for data. There is, who is that guy? Sri Krishna committee.
Okay.
Sri Krishna committee. So like this, you have different committees.
Okay.
Legislations. You have to have a lot of data. This is what I can say. Authentic, specific data.
Specific, authentic, and primarily government sources.
Primarily government sources.
Okay.
Even if you can visit government website also, they'll club all their schemes in a pictorial manner.
Okay.
Like if you go to agriculture website, you will get a bunch of schemes in a precise manner.
Okay.
If you want to study in any other material, you will not get it.
Okay.
Like.
So tell me, I mean, you can take up few questions and tell me what do you want to say about your approach.
Sir, let us say by Right.
Paper 1. Will
Paper
you
1.
take up
Right.
paper 1 or?
Paper 1.
Okay, paper 1.
So first question. Safeguarding the Indian art heritage is the need of the moment. Comment.
Okay.
So my blind rules are for 10 marks. You should have a 10 points. And plus introduction plus conclusion. Plus one value addition. This is my blind blueprint. So that 10 points I'll break. But since this question, people, there is no proper source for this. You have to write on your own. You have to break this question. How to break this question? Safeguarding the Indian art heritage is the need of the moment. You have to safeguard. What is the need for safeguarding is the question. Direct question is, what is the need for safeguarding? Need for safeguarding. But if I write this directly, there are very few points, few solid points. So what I write in introduction, Indian art heritage, I can either define it or give data or give history. Like I can define Indian art heritage, like sculptures, like figurines of Harappa, or sculptures of Mohenjo-daro, Bharatanatyam, puppetry. This is the Indian art heritage. Indian art heritage, where it is a diverse thing, from sculptures to. So that is how my introduction goes. I define Indian art heritage. So that is my introduction. Now the question says, need for safeguarding is the need. That means it is not safeguarded, it is threatened. So my first break is threats or dangers of Indian art heritage. It has been neglected. No government, no patronage, literally. No government patronage. Archaeology, anthropology, these are not properly funded. Not government priority. Globalization. Whatever the points you write, whatever the threats, because of which Indian art heritage requires safeguarding. Now what is the need for safeguarding? Because it is a cultural consciousness or cultural heritage which you should be very proud of, and it brings in tourism. So whatever you feel, you can improve relations with Southeast Asian neighbors. You can solve problems in the Indian subcontinent region. So whatever the safeguarding, whatever you feel that why need is there, you write this, and way forward you give. Even though this is not asked, but many toppers last year, they have said that you should not leave a problem without giving any solution.
Okay.
So what government is doing? Any Monuments Act is there, and Sahitya Kala Academy is there, Sahitya Natak Academy, Gnanpit Awards, they are giving something. What they should do should be the second point, like decentralization of institution. Like all these institutions are held in New Delhi. So you write whatever the way forward, and in the conclusion you should write something about Indian art heritage. So this is the way how I approach the question. Generally, this question people do not have the content.
For something like this, how the Indian concept of secularism different from Western model of secularism?
It is given in vision value added material. You have what is the concept of secularism. It is a given answer, sir. Everyone writes the same thing. I wrote the same thing.
You don't remember it now?
So Western model of secularism, there is some French model of secularism, American model of secularism is there. So I defined those things. So I defined those things. I defined what is Indian model of secularism, where state involves, but not to the extent of violating the rights of freedom, religious freedom. But there is a fine balance between rights and religious rights and fundamental rights, where fundamental rights are given more importance. Though religion is a fundamental right, basic human rights are given. And state interference is, there is state interference. So there is an exact answer which I remember, which I remember that time. So, but it is a direct question. Okay. In a vision value added material is there. Okay. It is a direct question. For suppose Another question.
Okay, you take a question of your choice.
What people do mistake in this question is they focus more on
Question number
1.
Okay.
This question. Question number 1 mein I heard people focus more on monuments, exchanging of monuments. There is something going on between exchange of monuments between British and India about Kohinoor, about what are the Peacock Throne and all. So people are more focused in that, but you need to be very comprehensive. Indian art heritage does not include only those museums or figurines. It should also include puppetry, all the fine arts, all the visual arts. There is no, they did not ask very particularly this art or this thing. So be comprehensive, be open. And Bhakti movement, this question, it is out of blue. Bhakti movement received a remarkable reorientation with the advent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Discuss. So, reorientation with Mahaprabhu. So, what is the orientation before Mahaprabhu? What is Bhakti movement will be my introduction. What is the orientation before Mahaprabhu? What Mahaprabhu did? How it is continuing in the recent days. That is my thing. People do not have content, but if you want to write more, you write what is the orientation before Mahaprabhu.
What
people
you know.
What you know in a appropriate manner. You know the question is remarkable reorientation with the advent. Bhakti movement before Mahaprabhu, it is more focusing on bhakti, like there are many gods, or you can approach directly Nirguna Bhakti. Nirguna Bhakti is more and bhajans, kirtans, everyone is doing that. But what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said is Krishna is the only God, and there is more romanticism, more cults of Krishna began. Even ISKCON developed. International ISKCON is very famous. So Bhakti movement reoriented to Sadguna Bhakti or idol worship and monotheism. More number of things were there. So even though the content is very less in this, you have to write what you know in a very appropriate manner so that you can get good marks. And if you know the question, you can write more. If you don't know the question, you have to fetch marks. And 18th question.
Okay.
Women's movement in India has not addressed the issues of women of lower strata.
Okay.
This is a blank statement given. Women movement do not addresses the issues of lower strata women. This is some sociology concept, women movements. There is a waves of women movements, like first wave, second wave, third wave. Or India, we have only 2 waves. There are many thoughts about it, but don't go into the theoretical. I did not go into the theoretical concept. I started the women's movements in India, like Raja Ram Mohan Rai, Jyotiba Phule, education, INC, Sarojini Naidu, and Annie Besant. This is one thing where it affected only upper caste women.
Okay.
So this substantiates your statement. And there is a second wave where ecology Chipko movement, liquor ban movement, 73rd amendment. These positively affected women problems. Generally people, and this is asked in the context of Me Too.
Yes.
Me Too is very elitist movement. So it might not be affecting the lower strata women. You do not talk about marital rape, domestic violence, whatever the issues is there. So it is asked in the context of this. So you should not blindly say that women movements did not affect women of lower strata. But finally you write the whole GS answer, like yes, there needs to be more there needs more to be done. Women's reservation bill in legislative assembly and parliament has to be done. Women's reservation educations. IITs may, even though it is elitist, then also it is a right.
You write everything in points here?
Yes, sir.
Because so
most
many
of
points,
it, most of the things,
time you are writing.
most of the things in points.
Okay.
But here, particularly in this question, in this society question, it is very difficult to write in points because you will have less number of points, but more content to write. So be prudent about whether you can write it in points or not.
Paragraphs.
So see this, if I want to write Raja Ram Mohan Rai, I cannot even just write Raja Ram Mohan Rai struggle, or I have to write something. So in society questions, be practical and open your eyes, like in chronologically, geographically. Like this question I approached chronologically, like how the women movements were there. In that include your economical dimension or political dimension. People say that there are only women chairmen for SBI Bank, Sunda Kochhar, Miss Kochhar, or SBI chairman. People say that as women empowerment, but you give examples in wherever you can give. But society questions you approach with prudent. Like you cannot write 15 points definitely. That you have to have content.
Like 20th, communalism arises either due to power struggle or relative deprivation.
Like I said, you do not restrict communalism to religion. Not only to religion, not only to India. Go broad, because you have very less content here. If you restrict to communalism to religion, and if you restrict to India, you have very less content and one-dimensional view. So here, I divided. I don't know whether I am right or wrong. I divided power struggle, relative deprivation. I read some points regarding.
You can just say it.
Yes. For power struggle, first you define communism. What is communism in your own words? It might not be sociologically correct or theoretically very correct. You define what is communism and power struggle. How communism arises due to power struggle. Like I gave Saudi Arabia, Saudi-Iran issue, power struggle. They are communism.
Saudi-Iran issue under
Shia Sunni.
Shia Sunni. Okay.
This is power struggle between Saudi and Iran. Right. Ideological struggle between Russia and America. I do not know whether it is communism or not, but I gave this point. And that religious war, 1,000 years war between Islam and Christianity, that I gave. But you need to write how power struggle is the cause of communism in your own words, because in sociology questions you'll get less content. You have to show some analysis. Like there might be minimum resources. For suppose in Islam 1,000 years war, Asia is the market, right? To get hold of the Asia's market, there is a power struggle between Arabs and Christians. To get hold of the oil here, there is power struggle. So you have to write.
Context.
Right.
I think you must have written detailed answer to 16, significance of industrial corridors in India.
Map. So what are the industrial corridors? Draw a map. I drew a map along the borders, like along the industrial corridors. There is one. You label it clearly. You draw natural resource also besides that. Ports are there. KG basin is there.
So you wrote
coal
a detailed answer.
Very detailed answer. Okay. Wherever you have scope, wherever you have content, dump that content in a structured manner. Okay. You do not miss structure with enthusiasm.
Don't?
You do not dump structure with over enthusiasm.
Okay.
Because you have to address the whole part. Significance of industrial corridors is the first part. Identify the industrial corridors is the second part. Main characters is the third part. The next part you should do what you can do for
Fine.
making
Come
India
to
whatever.
GS2. Take any questions from GS2.
GS2 this time is very static. So see, so we'll leave out static parts and we'll come to questions which are very.
How about ninth? India's relations with Israel. Okay, you take any question from GS2.
Sir, this is very analytical question.
Okay. Okay, you choose any question.
Right. We'll deal with that question. India's relations with Israel have of late acquired a depth and diversity which cannot be rolled back. Discuss.
Okay.
You draw a diagram.
Diagram here. Okay.
Just draw, like this is Africa.
Okay.
This is where it comes, and here India comes. And here is Israel.
Okay.
Mediterranean Sea. This is Indian Ocean. Now you draw something like this.
What is the point in drawing a diagram here?
Just value addition. Just UPSC wants something which is differentiating from you. It is a. I mean, if you are asking me bluntly, I can say that it is not at all required. But in questions we cannot. You cannot answer whatever you cannot write whatever the content you have. But in picture you can show something which is not even asked in this question.
Okay.
Like I have practiced this also. I have made effort in drawing diagram, and I have identified what are the importance. Like from Israel you get technology. Like I used to write like this: water, defense. From here you go tourism, global power, global support. These are not included in the answer. Don't be, stupid that you write the same thing and you draw the same thing in here. So write something which is not written here, though even it is not asked. So India's relations with Israel of late acquired depth and diversity. Of late acquired some depth. What is before of late? So write before of late. Before of late India did not support, and India received some tacit support during Kargil. Okay. India was very much hyphenated its relations with Arab question and Israel, even though it was. So this 2 points, 3 points you can write. So what is the of late depth you acquired? Political. What are the situations where we supported Israel? Where Israel supported us? It might be NSG or might be getting some defense deals. Strategically, Chinese dehyphenation happened, and Chinese most trusted partner, logical partner. You write whatever you and economy. You write the economic points, technology, tourism, whatever.
So, do you give any conclusion here? Do you have anything to say on the overall situation?
Discuss, sir. I concurred with what is given. Okay. I do not know. I do not have any negative view over this. I was very much with that. So I gave something in different words. That's it.
Fine.
But in international relations, you can add this value. That is what I am saying.
Okay. You want to take up one more question from GS2? Just one more.
So I am saying, we'll see, sir. Assess the importance of panchayat system in India as a. I should have prepared. I should have seen what is there in that, and I should have come.
That's okay. GS3, if you want. For example, question number 3.
What do you mean by MSP?
How do you support? How do you?
Question number?
What do you mean by MSP, and how will MSP rescue the farmers from the low income traps? How will your answer be different from any other answer?
What do you mean by minimal support price? How will MSP rescue the farmers from low income traps? I do not know, sir. Sorry.
Fine. You choose some.
So the question, comment on the important changes introduced in respect of LCGT.
Question number
2.
Okay. Comment on the important changes introduced in respect of.
So comment on the important changes introduced in LCGT.
And dividend distribution tax in the
It is one very. It is given from.
But did you really prepare for this question?
Yes.
You were expecting this.
I am not expecting this, but I know this.
Fine.
There is only a single point in this.
Okay.
So I wrote that. I don't know whether it clicked or not. So I write what are the changes what are the changes it brought in 2018 budget. There are some factual points which it reduced or which it increased long-term capital gains. Comment. So here the thing is the tax is on wealth.
Okay.
This is the single most important point. It is not on income. It is on wealth. According to McKinsey, he says that wealth should be taxed more because wealth increases abnormally. It is an analytical question most people miss, and it is only single point. This is the thing. So in the end,
see, when you are giving points, you don't prioritize them, or you mention as many points as possible.
You segregate them, sir.
Segregate them.
Yes, you segregate them. Like you classify.
Economic, political, social, like that.
But no, sir. For very few questions you can prioritize, sir.
For few questions.
For topics which you have prepared, you can prioritize. Like for agriculture, I can prioritize whether it is land or whether it is water or whether this is the cropping pattern. But for some random questions which might appear, which you are not expecting, it is very difficult to prioritize. What you can do is you can segregate as much as possible.
Okay.
We'll see, sir. Sir, if this thing is not working out, we'll do another time also, sir. If you're not getting any content from this.
No, that's okay. We're just getting the approach. Question number 11, if you want, GS3.
It is a static question, sir. What are the principles followed by Neet Ayog? Neet Ayog principles is only 2. It is a think tank. What are the official things? Officially, they said Neet Ayog is a think tank which helps in policy formulation and becomes a guide, and it promotes cooperative federalism. These are the only 2 points. While Neet Ayog is being instituted, this is the government official document said. So the things is principles followed by different from those followed by the SYL Planning Commission. The basic things is this. So I said this. So what SYL Planning Commission used to do? Planning Commission, Niti, detailed micromanagement, broad policy thing, and I used to write. They did not ask what is the constitution of planning. What are the members? They did not ask. But you can write here. But I wrote here. I cannot say you can write here, but I wrote here because principles are only this. They working in a elaborate manner is another issue. That I wrote it as criticism. Even though it is.
What did you include as criticism?
Even though it is said as think tank, it is giving. It is literally suggesting everything. In working, it is again a planning commission. Even with much more. I was very blunt in that because I felt that. Because there is no official criticism on Niti Ayog. Because there is no official criticism on Niti Ayog. Government criticism on Niti Ayog. So if there is any government document, you can include that. Otherwise, I have to give my own opinion. In that question, I have to give my own opinion. Question number 13 is very interesting, which most people do not know. Yes. I also do not know. Very, very difficult. In all my 4 attempts, I think if I have to pick one difficult question, this is the one.
Really? Okay.
Assess the role of National Horticulture Mission in boosting the Production,
productivity and income.
productivity, income. You have to know what is the difference between production, productivity, income of horticulture farms. So you have to have data for this also. I do not have data. So what I have to say to the examiner? I know what is production. I know what is productivity. I know what is income. So I gave this. I have only data for production. In budget speech of president, there he has given we are producing 275 million tons of grains, 300 million tons of horti. This is the only data I have.
Okay.
Production. What is productivity? Per acre.
Okay.
What is income? What is cost minus, profits minus total income minus cost. So what farmer is finally gaining, right? So I wrote that, and generic mein I gave this might work because you have all the linkages, backward linkages and forward linkages in horticulture rather than food grains. Food grains, what I wrote the prospects of thing. How far it has succeeded in increasing the number of income of farmers, I do not know. But I gave that I know something. This is the question. But so the thing is, you have to address each and everything. How far has it succeeded in increasing income of farmers? So
question number 10.
10.
I think this you may have done from anthropology. Left-wing
Showing
extremism.
downtrend, but effects of how briefly explain harm. It is easy question, sir.
Easy
Like,
question.
like draw. Here you can draw diagram.
Did you draw diagram for this
India
also?
diagram.
Central India.
Complete India diagram. Yes, Central India. Parts now it is spreading to. Even there is a Pasupati Hills to Tirupati Hills. There is a frame.
Okay.
There is a like people generally. It is a famous quote. Here, the red corridor is there.
Okay.
Like so, the thing is, what is the approach?
How many diagrams do you write per paper?
It depends, sir. This time there is little scope for diagrams in most of the questions. Like in what can I write in horticulture mission? I wrote, but I have to write something. So I have defined horticulture. Like what are the parts of horticulture? Like vegetables, fruits, or any other thing. I drew. Or National Horticulture Mission. You can, if you know that, you can explain it like this. Or if you have any left-wing extremism, you can draw India diagram for sure. You can see the red corridor. You can show the red corridor, and you can show that it is spreading to Nilgiri Hills. And India's approach to counter the challenges posed by LWE. You can write that three-pronged approach. The thing is, as I've said, break the question as much as you can, so that even if you miss out some part.
So what's your advice to anyone preparing for GS? In terms, you explained how to write, but what's your advice on preparation?
Preparation, sir.
Particularly GS 1, 2, 3.
Questions come from the syllabus, but they are very broad. You need to be very diversified in your answer. This is basic stuff, sir. Every topper or every other person who has got good score, they used to say the same things. As I said, answer like while you are preparing, think how a particular page, particular paragraph you are reading, how it is going to help, how you are going to write it in exam. If you are reading any Neet Exams document, it is like 300-page document. Like you have to concise it. Even if you are reading ARC, you have to think that how I can use this. Otherwise, it won't be very useful. Even if you are reading PT Mains 365, generally people read. There's so much of content. You need to be very prudent in what you are reading. Because they cannot take risk, so they include all the data, all this stuff. But you have to be concise, guess something which might come, and elaboratively prepare. You cannot be very sure of what they are going to ask, but try to be anticipative, like which are going to come. What type of diagrams I can draw? People they diagrams which people draw are out in the market. You have to do something extra. What extra you can make? Think in that. You have already the knowledge base, most of the knowledge base. You have to read out what you have left. Cover syllabus. Read in a answer writing manner. Like if you are reading something, you should write it. Otherwise, don't read it and revise it multiple times. And question, particularly I used to do wrong is like generally jump in directly into the question. Don't jump directly into the question. Read once, twice, think back, think forward. If you segregate something now, even if you have less content, it looks more structured. That is what I can say, sir. But be very specific. People are doing like they are by hearting like anything. So be content rich. Draw figures like graphs in economy. If there is any possibility, you can draw graphs. You can show qualitative data also in quantity. Like for suppose, if TFR, decrease in TFR is increasing literacy, if you put it in graph, it will be very helpful. Generally people, if you are writing any graph, it doesn't mean you have to only show growth, like quantitative parameters. It doesn't need to be like that. Be innovative, creative, do something. You have to write an answer. You have to add some value. So think in that approach, sir. That is what I can say. Thank you.
Okay, Naveen, thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. So I don't know whether.
No, that's okay.